Hello and welcome back to the last game of the day for the boys varsity SSNS Provincials. This game will be between the number 3 seeded Citadel Phoenix and the number 6 seeded North Nova Griffins. Should hopefully be a very tense and impactful game.
And just some quick things that will be interesting to watch today in this game, Logan. We'll get the starters here in a sec, but I'm more familiar again with the Metro teams, but North Nova, I got some notes on them. The probable stars would be number 4, Neil McFarland's the senior point guard, pretty good skills, and for high school players, actually, he's got a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio, which is unusual, as you've already witnessed. It's got to get better than that at the next level, but for high school, that's not bad. He's kind of a key engine and initiates the row. Also a senior, number 11, Brody Bonvie, is apparently one of their more consistent three-point shooters. They rely on him to stretch the thing. Number 12, senior Giorgio Al-Haddad, apparently kind of an unorthodox inside scorer, but managed to score a lot of points for them. Number 6, Liam McPherson, is a grade 10, who has become more of an important player as the season's gone on. Number 3, James McKay, also a grade 10, a guard, pretty good array of skills, needs strength as most grade 10s do, but has come along nicely. Number 2, senior Nate Fast, is kind of a glue guy for them. And number 14, Noah Bowden, is a grade 11 who they rely on for some minutes as well. Citadel, athletic, again, like the other top Metro teams we've seen. Quick, capable of putting a lot of points on the board quickly. Number 3, Napier, who just had it, very accurate three-point shooter. Gabriel Habib inside, you just saw what he can do. McDonough at the point is a diversified guy at the point for them. And Travarius Carvey, number 16, can really score a lot of points in a hurry. Penetrates well, can also hit the pull-up three, will be someone to watch. Over to you.
No, I can't speak on Citadel's behalf, but that sounds very spot on for what I know for this North Nova team. I played against number 14, Noah Bowden, a couple of times. He's a very strong and physical guy. He'll give you great energy. Number 3, James McKay, one of the better young players in our province, has a grade 10. Number 4, Neil McFarland. I did not know about the assist, but what I did know is his handles. When they came down to the SA Wildcats Invitational Tournament this year, he had more than a couple ankle breakers where the defenders didn't know where he was because he would just split them so quickly. Giorgio is an elite scorer that can easily drop 20 to 30 points if you need him to. And number 11, Brody Bonvie, is an elite three-point shooter. He does have a consistent shot.
Okay, and the kid I didn't touch on for Citadel starting today, number 19, Finn McLean. When I have seen him, he wasn't a starter when I saw them, but when he came off the bench, what he's about to do, he's pretty accurate from 3 if you give him an open look. That was well defended. Okay, let's go.
So what we're looking at is probably 2 teams that are going to shoot a lot of threes and play at a pretty fast pace. As North Nova, their big Nathan Fast is very much a big glue guy for them, but plays a little bit slower. Noah competes in cross country and track and field, a little bit more, not necessarily stronger or better, but a more athletic and be able to run out more. So I think this game they're getting ready to run.
And there's Napier doing what I mentioned. He does a very high percentage three-point shooter. They're going to have to get out on him and run him off the 3, or he can hurt them.
Early scoring right away, 7-2 already in this game, only 2 minutes into the game.
That one didn't drop, but the pull-up for Travarius is very much a part of his game. There's Habib.
Giorgio with a great take to the rim and gets the and-1 play.
And El Haddad immediately showing us what I'd been told about him, a elusive inside scorer. Apparently kind of unorthodox shot selection at times.
He can definitely be at times. It's a little bit weird, some of the shots. It's like no way that's going in, and then it's like it just goes in. It's just if I were to guess on him, I couldn't say for sure, but I would guess that he is used to practicing and shooting these hard shots. So even though they look unorthodox to me and you, they are very easy and they feel fairly natural to him.
Okay, and he looked very clean from the line on that one too. So
yes, also if he does get to the line, he will shoot free throws. And I'd say he gets to the line a fair amount because he attacks the rim pretty strong. So if you want him to get off balance, you're typically going to have to foul him.
In and out, shooters miss by Carvery. Almost a turnover. There it is, a turnover.
Quick run. Napier lays it in.
Again, the ball pressure leading into a run and jump semi-trap there and the turnover. Oh, nice find.
Wide
nice
open.
find.
And there you can see right there, Neil's playmaking. Just sees the open guy, hits a nice bounce pass. He's wide open for a layup.
Okay, McKay, he knows better. He reached and got caught.
That was on number 3, James McKay for the Griffins.
Yeah, okay.
Great little poke there by McKay. He is a solid, although he is known, nice finish by McFarland. Although he is known more for his scoring and playing at the provincial level, he is also a very solid defender for this team, as he is not necessarily the main scorer all the time, as they are mainly led by their seniors Haddad and McFarland. He is still a very solid defender to go with it. McFarland makes the triple.
Well, so far, given the way they've exploited transition, I mean, they're looking of the teams I haven't seen. They're showing they're capable of rapid transition and pretty smooth in the finish. Travarius knocks down 3. Again, very much part of his repertoire.
Rare turnover there for McFarland. You do not typically see him turn the ball over much.
Both teams defending the interior pretty well.
Very well. There's been very few buckets outside. Most of them have come outside of the paint.
McDonough reaches over the shoulder on the board. Again, he on the rebound. He knows better.
Number 6, Liam McPherson has subbed in for the North Nova Griffins. He's a pretty solid sophomore. Another one of their guys that can shoot the 3 ball at a pretty good rate.
Apparently, he's one of their kids they depend on for rebounding as well, I'm told.
He is, although he is mainly, he does look in a guard's body for the most part.
Yeah,
where they are a more fast run and gun team. They rely on guys like Haddad and McPherson to rebound more than we would typically expect at guys from their size.
Number 4 for Citadel, Harrison Norman, finishes that one in transition. When I've seen them previously, he was the 5th starter for them on several occasions. So they shifted up a little bit today. Started McLean, but now also Mukhtar Abakar is their backup point guard. Young kid, I think he's a grade 10. Talented kid, very heady player. Good decision maker. Will emerge, I think, as he gains strength to be an inside and outside scoring threat. Does a good job running the out.
It's just how hard you want to work on defense.
No, very much. And I haven't seen him play before, but I do remember his brother at Grammar 2 years ago in his senior year. He won league MVP in a league that was filled with Cayman Anthony and Mason Thurber and those elite talents. He still stood out as the best, and he was an elite scoring guard.
Yeah, Mukhtar was with that same under-16 provincial team that I mentioned earlier on. There's again, what I just said, a heady, young, potential point guard in development.
Haddad with a little fader there.
And there's an example of what you were talking about earlier.
Doesn't always look the prettiest, but it'll work.
That one was actually pretty smooth.
He can be at times. It's more, I guess, when he can be pressured.
Yeah, he kind of lulled the D, and then boom. There's Habib inside for Citadel. So far, this is showing the signs of obviously a very different tempo game from the one we just watched, and so far a lot more scoring.
For sure. Right? That's honestly what I expected. Last game, you were saying that CP Allen was very defensive. I heard that Horton was, but couldn't confirm. I know North Nova is an offensive team more than anything, and if Citadel is as well, it could equal a lot of points on the board.
Nova, back door. Ball screen, ball screen. Hands.
Shot is blocked.
And I would presume from the Citadel coaches calling out Nova, et cetera, they've scouted North Nova pretty well and probably kind of have run their kids through some defensive adjustments in response to the stuff North Nova likes to run.
I would definitely say that. I believe these teams may have also played each other earlier in the year, or they were in the same tournament at least. So the Citadel coach may have taken some film so he could get these angles.
Yeah, I don't think they did play each other, because I got from North Nova. I know that they played. They had close losses to Halifax West. They lost to JL Ilsley, and I think they
beat Auburn, I believe.
They beat Auburn, and then I think they have wins over. They had three, I think, reasonably close losses to CP Allen, and I think they also played against Horton, and I think they beat Horton. So, or no, maybe they lost to
Horton. I think
Horton,
they lost to Horton, because that would make sense.
But it was a competitive game.
Higher.
Yeah. But it was, I think, a single-digit game. So, so they've played, some of the stronger teams. And they haven't played, I don't think they played any of the top three city teams. So Citadel would be number 3, Millwood 2, and Armbray 1. So, they've competed against, because actually the city was fairly deep this year. So Halifax West, quite competitive. And CP Allen, you saw,
very good
pretty
team.
strong. So, that they've competed with them is a sign that, again, we'll see what happens in this one.
And you would know better than me, since for the Halifax one. From what I heard, this is one of the more competitive years in Halifax. Or kind of almost every team had a chance to at least be a top 4 seed and have a chance at provincials.
Well, I think the way it finished is pretty much the way it was. But I think through much of the year, most people would have probably said that the top 3 were the top 3. Slight drop, and then, starting with CP Allen down to about 7. Pretty competitive, yes. And even though that slight drop, the teams that were beneath that drop could be competitive on any given day with the top 3.
Now that I'm looking at it, the coach is pulling a paper in and out of his hands. I say he probably has some notes in it, and he's probably watching them play and then calling certain defenses based off of it.
Yeah. Coach Petropoulos is one of the talented young coaches in Nova Scotia basketball. Has done some provincial team coaching and just been involved with a lot of there are a lot of opportunities, for coaches to develop as well as players. And he's definitely regarded, I think, as one of the upcoming coaches in the Metro situation.
And that's a big thing. And Citadel also, I know they only graduated 3 this year, but they are always they seem to have went younger this year. Citadel has went younger this year for the most part.
Well, their key kids are seniors, but their depth is mostly young. So, but there's a lot of talented youth there, but it's young. and as we've seen already, young is young. So talent is talent, but it still needs time to mature. So, for example, number 5, Michael Tynes, out there for Citadel now, is, I believe, grade 10 this year. He was at Grammar last year and played for them as a grade 9, and certainly among the most talented grade 9s in the province last year. McDonough bringing the ball up now as a senior. Mukhtar, I mentioned, is, I think, grade 10.
Great steal there by McFarland. Great job anticipating the passing lane there. And McFarland gets to the rim.
McFarland has shown some nice stuff already. Yeah, I like his game. But there's Abakar finishing at the other end. The biggest thing that both teams have to do in this. They're both quite willing to get immediate offensive transition and attack. So both teams are going to have to really be on the mark in terms of, okay, you can't take a half second to celebrate, score, and then get back and play D. And depending on how you organize your transition defense, you've got to challenge the ball, protect the rim, and prevent any easy early attacks.
100%.
Nice find.
Great
Nice
finish
backdoor
there
cut.
by
Good find.
McPherson. Good tip there.
Yeah,
by
as
McKay.
I say, I'm more familiar with Citadel, and they're doing what I've seen them do. I'm quite impressed, and you again, you called it. North Nova's offense there's a lot of good stuff going on. A lot of fluidity, a lot of good quick movement, a lot of good ball movement. Players are there's some real skills going on. Now they're playing a 2-1-2. Again, they may not. One of the things about population is the smaller towns and so on outside the city will often maybe not have quite the depth, right? So to counter that, you have to do some stuff defensively rather than simply try to match up people for 40 minutes over 84 or over 94 feet.
For sure. And I'll be honest, out of the non-Halifax teams that I know, North Nova may be the deepest of those teams. As we saw Noah earlier in the year when I had seen him was like around 8th or 9th, but he's easily subbing into the starting lineup later in the year. And other guys like Nathan Fast that were 5 or like borderline starters, the 6-man for most of the year can go in and be 8 or 9. They're a pretty deep team compared to other.
Okay, well, and everybody they put out there so far has certainly competed. So. And that kind of penetration by Harrison Norman is kind of his game. That's his game, the penetration. Not that much of a perimeter threat.
Very close game, and especially high scoring. 25-23 for Citadel with 30 left. This is looking like it may be the overall high scoring. Sure, we've had some high scores from Ombre and Millwood, but lower scores on the other side. This may be the total highest scoring.
McDonough is their point guard, but one of the things he does, Nye Johnson does this well for Ombre as well. He's a point guard who rebounds offensively. And one of the things about being somebody who rebounds offensively from the perimeter, you virtually never get boxed out.
And that is a big thing. That will end the first quarter. 27-23 lead for the Phoenix, and a very high-action, fast-paced game.
Yeah, and remember in the previous game we had been anticipating that this one might be played at a different tempo, and it looks like our anticipations this time are turning out to be rewarded. I think also, I may have lost track, there were not a lot of fouls called in that quarter. Am I correct?
There was not. I think there was only 2, maybe 3, but it was a very low fouling. I'll go check.
Okay. So McDonough has the only 2 for Citadel. That's important though because he is kind of their offensive court leader, and again does stuff off the ball for them as well, and so on. But he's one of their seniors. North Nova spreading theirs out, so that's if you're going to foul, it's always better to spread them out.
For sure. No, it'll be important that McDonough stays out of foul trouble because if he picks up another one, Citadel will most likely have to bench him for the rest of the quarter.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think
of
I saw them play somebody, and he did in fact get an early foul trouble, and it definitely had a negative impact on the team play.
You definitely see that. They went up early, probably 7 or 8, and then they got 2 fouls on them, and it's been kind of close since. Haddad just off the mark.
But chased down by Nathan Fast and dropped by McKay.
McKay is as I keep saying,
He's
for a
played well
grade
so
10.
far.
He's a good scorer he's had as a grade 10 for this solid Provincial North Nova team. He's had multiple 20-point games and multiple 30-point games for this team. Really, even though he is a younger player, he's definitely playing up.
A little bit of help there from gravity, but it eventually dropped. Yeah, I think I told you his dad played for me. His dad could play.
Oh, James's dad?
James' dad, yeah.
Where did you play with him at? Or where did you coach him at?
Provincially.
He's killing us. Rebound, Bulldogs!
Fast makes the
Interesting,
jump
a little
for
bit
2.
hesitant on the take, but the result was smooth.
Come on, Gray.
Very high scoring game. 30-28 right now for the Phoenix. What a pass by
Good
Griffin there, and the
penetration
end
fine,
one.
yeah. Now, interesting enough, they've been playing the 2-3, but they've done a pretty good job of matching the ball up top. On that one, they didn't, which allowed that top gap, which gave the penetration. And once that penetration is in there, the bottom 3 are kind of at the mercy of the offensive players, provided that the ball finds them.
No, they will try and they definitely do play. They play 2-3 zone very well, but it is like some of the teams today. They play in an aggressive 2-3 zone. They don't want to give you those points.
Then your other second guy kind of tandems off that.
Fouls on Citadel's number 3, Peter Napier. That is his first foul of the game. And number 14, Noah Bowden, subs back into the game. A grade 11, a ball of energy. Competes in track and field for throwing and running, cross country, basketball. Kind of an all-around great athlete.
I heard he was a real athlete. Yeah, okay. He's still developing as a basketball guy, is that correct?
He is.
Yeah.
I played him in grade 9. He didn't have a ton of skill, just hustle. Last year, he kind of worked on becoming more of a scorer. This year, from when I've seen him, he's a bit of a scorer. He can, still pretty strong, fit. He can get some score, but he also has a little bit of a three-point shot if the defense happens to leave him open.
Okay. There's one of the...
There's the unorthodox that I was talking about.
Good take, well defended.
There's Bonvie. We haven't seen him shoot much tonight. I believe that's his first shot of the game, but he will have to be a big impact for the Griffins to win tonight.
Yeah, and again, the previews said that he was among their better three-point shooters. That was a great find by McFarland, though. No,
we talk about, I would pretty confidently say he's the best on the team. I'd pretty confidently say he's one of the better players in this tournament, to be honest. Especially if you count non-Halifax teams, I would definitely put him in that conversation.
There's McKay with the 3, a little bit out of rhythm. Carberry, not quite.
Shot. Great job by Griffin, not giving up on the play and forcing it.
That's Kai Enders. He's, I think he's grade 10, but very athletic, great leaper. Still developing his basketball game, but he's athletic, quick, and aggressive to the glass.
Haddad looking to get something to go. Only 9 left on the clock. A little bit too much on it.
Yep.
He's honestly shot a lot worse than he typically does. He's typically very efficient in there. He does had some buckets down low, but a little bit of struggle right now for Haddad.
Good take there by Gabriel Habib. Oh, nice effort. Didn't quite go.
McFarland struggling a bit to finish at the rim right now. Typically, he's a solid finisher, but having a little bit of trouble with the size and length of the Citadel
Well,
team.
you know, both teams, frankly, as you very correctly predicted regarding North Nova, a lot of athletes. Citadel has a lot of athletes. So both teams offensively, they're getting into pretty good places. Then they're meeting up with an athlete who's going to challenge them, which changes the nature of what you can get away with in there, right? So, but, you know, this is fun to watch.
No, very much an enjoyable game. 35, both teams in the 30s already, 6 minutes in. Offense has slowed down a little bit since the first quarter, but still fairly high scoring compared to the
That
other
one a
games
little
today.
overly ambitious on the read. That's one where you read it and decide, I'm not going to try it. Percentages were too low. Initial idea good, decide not to try it.
Here we go.
Good find.
We're just off the mark.
Good ball movement, but
Bonvie waved it off to trying to get the Griffins to slow down a little bit and just calm down. They've had a couple opportunities where it's going a bit too fast.
strong take, can't quite come away with it.
Fighting for the rebound, McPherson comes down with it. There's McPherson's finishing.
He's sure with the ball. He's very sure with the ball.
He's confident in his ability. He's not the tallest, he's not the strongest, but he's got a great handle. He's got a good IQ division. And one for the Griffins.
And Gabriel Hadib, I think that's at least 8 points for him. And again, his game is not complicated, but he's effective inside there. You've got to, and I think I mentioned earlier, one of Citadel's strengths, they have a real variety of ways they can score. Napier is certainly among the best three-point shooters in the city, probably one of the best in the province. McDonough does the kind of athletic combination game stuff that he does. Travarius Carvey, again, multiple ways he can attack you and athletically score, and has range from three, has pull-up range from three, actually. Can also shoot the pull-up once he gets in around the elbows and can finish inside in traffic. Hadib, more of a kind of a similar to 32, the land kid for CPL, a workman-like guy in the paint, and then they have some of the kids they bring off the bench are young, athletic, still developing their skill set, but they can do some stuff. It's just not as consistently as they ultimately will be able to. And then they've got a couple of kids they can bring off the bench who can knock down threes. What have we seen in North Nova so far? Similar kind of mix, right? They've got a real array of offensive ways to attack. And so far, I like the ball movement and player movement for both teams. Nova using that zone, but Citadel sending cutters through, getting a little bit of pass penetration. Haven't used dribble penetration too much so far, but rapid ball reversal, some pretty good looks, and it's just a nice fluid offensive game for both teams.
For sure.
Yep.
Citadel came out pressuring them heavily. Oh, that is going to be a backcourt. And a quick scoop and
in one like that, grab the thing, because if the whistle blows fine, at least you get to set your D.
Yeah. No, and as we saw exactly why you should. Citadel coming out more aggressive.
And I'm not sure they would have called back over, by the way, because it wasn't totally clear that they had possession. Remember, the ball got loose and then boom. So it would have been the referee's decision. They might not have called back over. But again, down here, what happened? If you don't pick it up, that's what's going to happen.
And another steal.
And a good finish by Travarius in traffic. Okay, this is the way the game's been played so far. 9 points is a gap.
For sure, no. And that's the problem with a game like this. If you aren't scoring, you're in trouble because there's just so much offense. You got to keep up with Citadel. And Haddad hit the three.
On cue.
Yep.
Nice.
Great finish there again.
Lovely little ninja cut beneath by Hadib and a nice find by Mukhtar Abukar.
Good. We're good. Let's go. Good. Good rotation. Rotate, Griff.
Good idea. Didn't quite find him.
44-36 currently, 8-point lead for the Phoenix. with 4 minutes left in the game.
Okay, what do we got here? Clock's down at 6. Gonna have to go.
We gotta get a shot up.
Nope.
That is a
Good defensive possession by Citadel. Little tentative there by North Nova. One of the first times we've seen any kind of tentativeness in their attack.
Haddad's got to attack there. He's at the elbow, winding time down. By the time you give it to Noah LaCroix, he has 3 seconds and not much room to work with as the guy was right on top of him.
I mentioned the cutting through the zone. That was a lovely little bang bang.
It was. Von V making the hustle play a lot smaller than it did, but definitely trying to make his presence known.
Got to travel there.
Wait. 13. It was just for baseline. Just for the baseline. 13. We're 13. We're 13. Hey, perfect pass in the middle. That was a perfect pass last time. Good.
Another 3-pointer for
Look
today.
good out of the hand. And this is 11. That's the biggest gap we've seen so far.
The lead is extending currently for the Phoenix. Each time they score, it seems like it's a new high for a lead in this game. North Nova's got to get something to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, Citadel looked to be in a zone-like thing. It might have been 1-3-1. I couldn't get a real good look at it. But definitely they're changing Ds. And right now their defense has gotten North Nova a little bit tentative, both individually and collectively, and that's partly what's accounting for this gap. As well, up here at this end, they're doing a real nice job cutting through the zone, getting found, then immediately finding a baseline cutter, or kicking out for open threes, which are going down right now.
makes a second, and number 6, Leah McPherson, is subbing in for the Griffins. They're in, it appears like Citadel's in a 1-3-1 right now, if I were to guess.
Well, it looks
a 1-3-1 trap.
It's 1-3-1. Yeah, it's 1-3-1. You can do a tandem 2-1 thing, but I think they're doing a legit 1-3-1.
Tredavious with another 3-pointer.
He's found his rhythm, and when he does, as advertised, he can knock him down. Now I believe we're in man now. Yeah, we got Citadel in man that time. They're changing, depending on the possession, possibly depending on what happens up here.
Nathan Fast gets the rebound, almost a turnover, but Bombi grabs it and holds it tight.
Well defended. They'll get it back.
Big time block.
Yeah, they'll get it back. Okay, in for Citadel, number 15, Noah Gray. Number 3, Peter Napier back on. And number 5, Michael Tynes Jr.
And there's a little bit of the veteran leadership and some of the young athleticism. Because number 5 and 15, I both believe, are in grade 10. While number 3, Peter Napier, is a senior now. So you're getting still that young athleticism with some of your seniors that have been through the ringer a little bit at this level.
Tynes, number 5, definitely is grade 10. I'm not sure about Gray, although I'm quite sure he's not a senior. So. Good look, but didn't go. Yeah, I think Noah Gray is grade 11.
Good job, T. Good
Great
stand.
penetration.
Davies at the rim makes it.
Yeah. I think you're seeing the sort of array of things Travarius can bring to the offensive end. 14, biggest gap so far.
Well, and Citadel continues just to extend this league more and more. North Nova's got to figure something else. As there's only quick steal by Abakar for the finish for 2.
Never really regained balance fully, so we tried to dribble it up kind of thing rather than gaining control and then kind of making that first step. Was sort of back on his heels a little bit. Mukhtar stepped in, took advantage of it. And now we're at 16 with a little under, about 52.8, so a little under a minute to go.
First appearance for number 2, Calum Bowes, who subs in for the Phoenix for.
Yeah, he's one of the athletic young kids for Citadel. Grade 11, good quickness, as I recall, mainly a penetrator.
Good to see more from him. Haddad floats it in.
Yep. Kind of breaks the drought a little bit.
Yeah, they were on a little bit of a drought there, so this gets some offense is a good start.
They're lucky to escape that though, because as evidence is almost did drop. He can knock that down. About a 2-second difference shot to game clock.
On B trying to get to the rim, dishes it off. They have 7 to shoot.
There it is.
There's Haddad and a layup
Well
for
done.
2. Timeout called by the Phoenix. They want to get a shot.
They want to get
on.
the last shot.
They got 5 seconds. They'll have enough time to call.
That should be
before they get a
43,
shot.
yeah? 55-43 now, I think. I'm not sure that 2 got put up.
I think that 2 did get put on. I think it is 55-41 currently.
There it goes.
43.
When I coached, I was paranoid about these things. Always very aware of the clock, the foul count, pretty much everything, because you got to be.
Precise.
Games have been won and lost on errors, by the way, table errors, over the decades.
I know what you're talking about. I was my grade 9 year. Could not make a basketball team, so I game managed, and about 1 or more times my stats were a lot different than theirs because they gave our points to them or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now it's basketball is a complicated thing. It's a complicated thing. A lot of nuances.
And it's a fast game with so much action. Just little things can get missed in the run of it.
Yep. No, I mean I admire the kids who do the table and young people, anybody of whatever age who does the table stats stuff, because it's a difficult task. Because you've got to see what's going on the floor, and it happens so quickly, as you just said, and you've got to record it, which means you probably have to look down at where and what you're recording. It's a skill. I don't pretend to have the talent.
North
myself.
Nova made a quick swap there at the end. They subbed in number 9, Braylon Garrow, for that last 5 seconds.
Yeah,
I'm gonna assume that
probably
he's
protecting somebody maybe. And again, I'm not sure of his game defensively, but he may be a very good defender, but also it maybe takes one of their other kids off the court enough to give them maybe added quickness and not the foul opportunity against. So 55-43.
15-minute halftime.
Fast-paced. Citadel, again, a game of runs. Both teams very evenly matched for most of it, but then Citadel had that run about 40% of the way through that second quarter and opened that gap.
Extremely fast offense, fast pace. This would be the highest scoring game, or it's on pace to be the highest scoring game by a very large margin up to this point. And I would not bet on the offense slowing down from here on out and potentially even picking up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. North Nova definitely got, when Citadel started changing D on them, I think they got a little bit of tentativeness into North Nova's offensive reads. And you saw a little bit of hesitation there, a little bit of tentativeness. Some finishes that earlier on had been very fluid and so on began to be less fluid. A couple of double clutches mentally. So the changing of the D thing with intensity in every D they were playing really worked for Citadel, and then they got the rapid transition. And again, if you could score consistently in transition in this game, it's why defensive transition and taking care of the ball and not turning it over is so important, because, again, we saw Armbre earlier, we saw Millwood earlier. Do those teams live off offensive transition generated by D?
For the most part.
I do believe. As, by the way, Michael Jordan's Bulls did, too.
Most teams do, as we've seen. Even the CP Allen team, that was definitely more of a defensive stalwart. And when they made their run, a good chunk of those points were on the transition.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's an underappreciated aspect of the game, but transition in both directions is such a crucial part of the game. It's why rebounding is so important as well. And again, it's why play selection, shot selection, player movement, ball movement are so crucial because it done properly. Citadel, if you watch them, both teams, but Citadel off-ball movement has been excellent to watch in this half. North Nova has early got a lot of great penetration with the ball, right? Anyway, let's take a break. Double check the fouls.
7-minute break. We're back at it.
practice he's missed. Yeah. Well, because I had to tell him, I can't take your brother because I have a little car. So I had to pick up 3 of them. There's no room in that little trunk. Like I put my bag in a trunk case.
So what do we got?
Hello and welcome back to third quarter action in this Citadel Phoenix versus North Nova Griffins game. The score so far for the North Nova Griffins, been leading them, was number 4, Neil McFarland with 12, along with 11 from Giorgio Haddad, number 12, 7 from James McKay, number 3, and number 11, Brody Bonvie with 6. Nathan Fast and Lee McPherson also both had 2. And for the Citadel Phoenix, number 16, Travarius Carvey had 17 points, and number 14, Gabriel Hadib had 16 points. Harrison Norman chipped in with 7. Peter Napier and Griffin McDonough both chipped in with 5. Abokar chipped in with 4, and Gray chipped in with 1.
Okay. So let's see what happens in this first 4 or 5 minutes of this quarter. Nice cross-grain skip.
Great shot by Travarius. That already puts him at 20 points this game. And McKay goes
nice
right
take by McKay. Yeah, Travarius can definitely put up the points. Okay.
Another one.
I suggest that North Nova are going to have to get out and run him off the 3 because he is definitely feeling it.
30 seconds into the game. He's at, or 30 seconds and a half. He's at 5 3-pointers already this game. He's just lighting it up from beyond the arc today.
Whoa.
Let it. A little bit too much on the shot, but good defense there by Bonvie, holding his ground.
Covered a lot of ground with that one step, though.
Haddad with a nice little scoop after waiting them out.
Yep, patient. Took his time, got the finish.
And the foul is drawn. Foul's on North Nova's number 3, James McKay. That's his second personal foul of the game. Adib is going to the line
now
for 2.
That possession didn't start out wonderfully for Citadel, but they regrouped. And then once D got it in there, he had a mismatch and took full advantage.
For sure. It will help in that. Doing that will, and continuing to do that will help them extend this lead. He misses both, but still, right idea.
Someone's got to. Yep.
They got to come up. As soon as the ball is picked up, you do not want to leave your guys alone against the Citadel defense.
And that was really well delivered, the pass, but good D.
It was a great pass. Great defense, too, by Citadel's number 4, Harrison Norman.
Again, I haven't seen him be primarily a 3-point shooter for them. Haddad weaves his way through.
Oh. Looks like he has lost his balance there for the most part.
Well defended once he got there, but he got there nicely, but then he met 3 people ready to greet him. McDonough probably gets the reach foul on McKay there. Nice change of pace.
It's another foul on North
McKay's third.
It is his 3rd foul of the game. North Nova coach got to start thinking, all right, what do I do here? He has 3 early. Do you want to take him out, give him a little break, try and put him in end of 3rd, or just let him run it and tell him
by
be safe?
14. So, it's, again, your fear of someone with fouls is they'll foul out and you won't have them on the court. But if you keep them off the court too long, so it's always a decision,
It is for sure. And Griffin with a nice little take there to the rack. Neil's trying to get something going for the Griffins.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you want McKay in the game, getting a nice bucket in the post.
A nice find by McFarland and a tough finish over, a bigger defender. Nice kick by Travarius. Probably travel.
It's called a foul, I believe.
Oh, foul called. Okay.
That is McKay's fourth foul.
That's unfortunate for them.
A little bit of a weaker foul in my opinion, but I can definitely see where it was. He hit him a little bit in the hand around the ball. So
okay, yeah, I wasn't able to see it just because of where the camera is here, but just because where the ball was on the court relative to that.
And that is a big deal, sadly, not being able to have him on the court. They just got to not let this affect their play.
Got the walk that time, I think?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. So, 14.
High scoring has continued for the most part. A little bit less than the first half, but still pretty high pace for both teams. Travarius hitting a quick steal down McFarland. That is one thing
good find.
What a dot by Travarius. It's a great pass.
Great find.
What I was going to say is, one thing Citadel is extremely low is they want to force McFarland into turnover. They know that they are not going to make him commit those turnovers by himself, so they're trying to force him into tough situations to turn it over. Noah there, knocking down the mid-range jumper for 2. Foul is on North Nova's number 12, Giorgio El
Foul.
Haddad.
If that's Haddad, that's his third.
That's his third.
That's his third.
So they have 2 big players in foul trouble. As we know, McKay already has 4, and that's Haddad's third. The fouls are not going right now for the North Nova
Haddad in
Griffins.
particular has to play defense on the interior, so guards can kind of avoid fouls if, you know, and as McKay gets more experience, he'll learn how. But interior is tough because you're going to be put constantly in situations where it's very difficult not to get called for a foul.
When you play this one?
Who was that one on? I couldn't see through there.
That foul's on number 6, Trine Travarius. I believe that is his first foul of the game.
Sorry, who'd you say it was on again?
Foul's on Sales number 16, Travarius Corbin.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Just his first foul, not much of a big foul difference this quarter. 1 foul. That's the first foul for the Phoenix, while the Griffins already have 4 minutes in.
Yeah. Part of it in this one is, again, the team that has is the aggressor and has momentum kind of thing in the transitions. They're just getting to spots that put North Nova at a disadvantage.
Travarius, he is human. He finally missed a 3-point attempt this quarter.
Yeah, it can happen, eh? Not often, though, today.
No, not often. Very high offense, not a ton of misses. And
Good
Haddad
take by
going to
Haddad.
work.
Yeah, showing that change of pace, herky-jerky kind of thing, which is, I'm presuming, sort of signature to his style.
It is signature, but it's a very efficient style for him. Great take by Travarius.
Halfway risky pass, but a really nice receipt and regather by Travarius in traffic. He was surrounded by 4 guys in that one.
Haddad going to work. Little fader.
Number 8 for North Nova, Tanner McGregor.
Bonvie knocks down the midi to make this a 13-point game.
That was important. Got to get to him because, okay. Yeah, good board.
That was a big take there by Noah Gray. Having the defender in the air and then bumping into him.
And they're fortunate that Napier is, very high percentage to make that in the first place. So.
Yeah.
And there's a nice take by McFarland.
It is. He's having a big impact. He's typically a decent scorer, but it's not his main aspect of his game. But today, he's turned it in the main aspect of the game because they've needed his offense. And there you go. You're just talking about it, and Napier nails the three-pointer.
Yeah, it's again, his percentages are high enough that if he misses a couple, the chances are pretty good he's going to make the net.
Yeah. Oh, good steal there by Napier. Good timing. Just as soon as he picked it up, he just swatted at it perfectly.
Similar thing down here, but Citadel will retain possession with about 20 on the shot clock.
Subbing in for Citadel is number 13, Griffin McDonough, and number 5, Michael Tynes Jr.
And McKay back on, so I think they're taking the risk, but I'm sure they've had a little chat with him about what not to do defensively.
It's as simple as they need his offense. They just need him to be extremely careful with the fouls. Oh, a little bit
idea
of
not bad, delivery just a notch off. The other thing when I was talking earlier about guards, it's a little easier if you're smart to stay in the game in foul trouble because you're probably defending perimeter.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to be in traffic that much. I mean, anything can happen. You can call for a charge. You know, whatever. You could get into a mismatch situation, but innately you have a little better opportunity of staying out of trouble than the interior guys do.
That.
Wait a minute. No, I don't think so. Yeah, okay.
A bit of miscommunication there. Foul's not on number 3. It's on number 2, Nathan Fast.
Yeah, because bodily the person who committed the foul did not look like McKay. So, yeah.
No, McKay was nowhere near. Just a little bit of miscommunication.
Yeah, it can happen.
McDonough makes the first one.
He's
been a solid scorer, but his impact has not come mostly from scoring, so I'm noticing. It's from...
No, as I said, he's mainly a generator. He leads, does a lot of leadership things, actually. For different reasons. I was with a bunch of other coaches. We were at one of their practices, and he's just consistently doing leadership things throughout the practice.
For sure, I can definitely notice that. Because he's not trying to be the main guy. He's not trying to be the main scorer. He's trying to set the tone for them defensively and offensively, set the tempo, lead them. And that's a big aspect for a guard.
You can be a main guy in a lot of ways without having to score. It's underappreciated, you know.
It really is. That's McDonough's 3rd foul. He's up to 3 on the game now.
Okay. Okay. Whoop.
Little poke there by McKay. 1B trying to take it coast to coast and get stripped.
Yeah. Charge. Yeah.
That is a charge taken by Nathan Fast.
Got out of control there, and pretty easy read for Fast to step in and take the charge.
For sure.
That was Tynes, yeah?
North Nova's got to start getting something for their offense. They're now trailing by 18, 76-58.
Yep.
Citadel has continued up their offensive consistency, and North Nova has had some success scoring, but still not enough. Oh.
That's hard lines, as they say in soccer. That was well executed and just didn't put it away.
It is. Those just have to fall, especially in a game like this where you're down. Foul.
Pretty good look. Didn't go, but a good look.
Going to be an out of bounds.
Yeah, 13 was probably 1-3-1.
McKay way off on the three-pointer, but Haddad gets the offensive board. And a big take to the rim.
Yeah, he decided when he got the loose ball what he was going to do, and then he was very patient in executing it.
Yeah. And I think he's looking for some fouls because you can see him he's looking at the ref. I think he's trying to get some, he thinks he's getting fouled on some of these shots.
And there you were talking earlier about McDonough not scoring a lot, but again, he can score, and he's quite prepared to take the opportunity when it arises. He just doesn't ever force it. $19.
Great pass there by Tynes.
And that's Enders. I remember he's a grade 10 kid. And we're now at 82-60, I believe.
Yeah, this is the Griffins got to change something up. Only about probably 1.5 minutes left in this quarter. You want to end it off right.
Yeah. And see if they can chip away. If you can get that
maybe.
Let's say if you can get it under 15, get the margin under 15, that would be, might be asking too much, but that would be the target, right?
Even if you could get it down to 17 or 18,
Yep.
just get
Yep.
5 or 6 points to end this quarter. It would be a good
Yep.
way to go into that last one.
Yeah, this half has been actually reasonably evenly played because the gap hasn't opened too widely. But again, this last little run, kind of a single-digit run, but given that they had the double-digit gap, they've got to try to close it somewhat significantly before and there's not a lot of time of 137, but. Yeah, so 15 is way too ambitious. But if they could get, say, a 4-6 point run here. Unlikely, but it's what you got to aim for.
100%. Even if, big thing is, get a positive to end this. At least get 3 plus, even just plus 1 3-pointer. Just you're good.
Got to walk, yeah, got caught.
I'm now noticing Citadel has a wide variety for their offenses and defenses. There's been 13.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff. I mentioned Coach Petropoulos, a very bright young guy and very dedicated.
No, definitely. And I believe the old Citadel coach retired last year or 2 years ago. He was able to learn under him before he came in, yes? McFarland's money.
So that's 19.
That's under 20. That's what you're aiming for ideally. Under 20 would be a good start.
Nice kick. And the rhythm of the kick knocks down. Now we're back to 22. Citadel matching up in man.
McFarland with another bucket.
Easy early penetration. Whoa, yeah.
Travel.
The extra step.
North Dover will get 1 shot off. They'll probably get the last shot off of the quarter, I would assume.
Yeah, it's not enough time to go 2 for 1 because, Citadel will then hold for the last shot. So.
Yeah. Hope here, I guess, is probably to run 15, 16 seconds off before even looking for a shot. Just make sure that Citadel cannot respond. Oh, they went quick.
A little early, actually.
And now Citadel has 6.2 seconds left on the clock.
Normally you want to kind of initiate penetration at around 6, 7, 8 to get either the opportunity to shoot or a pass and then the shot. So you've got chance for an offensive board. They have not enough time for anything in response. So that went a little early, and now Citadel will have a chance to get a shot off here.
You can see.
Well done.
And Travaris sinks the 3-pointer to end the third quarter. The Griffins Phoenix now lead the Griffins by 23 points, 88-65 with 1 quarter left of action.
Yeah, and when I said well done, McDonough backdoored, they threw over the top, and he just made a touch pass to Travaris, who then, a couple of bounces pulled up in rhythm, and he's obviously feeling very good about his 3 tonight, and he's not going to miss too many from the looks of it.
No, and to be honest, I am not overly caught up in Citadel, so I've heard of Travaris Corby, and I've heard that he was a very good player, but I not realized quite to the extent of how good he is. He has had probably 7 or 8 3-pointers and probably has over 30 points so far this game.
Just for kicks, I'm going to take a quick thing, see if I can find out what the answer is.
There you go, 6 3-pointers for Travaris Corby. And it appears that Citadel is going a mostly young lineup with only one of their seniors and or starters out right now. Only Peter Napier. The rest are all grade 10s and 11s, I believe, for the Phoenix.
But they've used this kind of a combination in most of their games. They'll have at some point a lineup something like this on the floor. Got the walk. Yeah.
A little bit too much hesitation. Just has to shoot that at that point.
Yeah, he probably doesn't realize, but he gave a little hop. The pivot foot lifted there. Whoop.
A little miscommunication there.
Little miscommunication.
Stop here. Lock back in.
Griffin's trying to get something going, hoping to still mount a comeback. And Haddad just off the mark. Right idea, good take, just could not make it.
Yep.
That Napier nails, I believe, his second three-pointer of the game with that one. Bowden takes it to the rim, just off.
Whoop, bad angle.
And one. They give McKay the
gave
continuation.
him the continuation on that one, because I thought the foul had been called before he started his attempt, but they'll take anything they can get at this point.
Free throw just off the mark.
Enders got himself into a little bit too much traffic.
McKay now back-to-back steals. Starting to show a little bit more life from the Griffins right now. They were looking a little bit dead some points in the third, but definitely starting to show more. Haddad is just not able to make his shots right now.
An open look for Tynes. Knocked it down.
Tynes tallies a three-pointer for himself. Bon V is off on the break. They cannot get a layup to fall right now.
Well, Citadel have been just on fire, and defensively they're doing what they have to do. North Nova has kind of lost their team flow at this stage of the game, so that even things like that, wide open layup, it's just not quite there. Because a lot of the individual success in this game comes from what the team did to lead to it. They've gone through a little bit of a spell here where they just lost their flow.
For sure. The foul there on the Phoenix was on number 15, Noah Gray. That was just his first of the game, though. No worry there. McFarland Slaughter was a little bit off, but Javarius looking to take it coast to coast.
But kicks to Napier. And
another one.
Again, as I mentioned before the game started, he's definitely one of the best three-point shooters in the city and probably in the province, I would guess.
I can definitely see that. That's probably his third or fourth. And there you go. As I said, Bon V also an elite three-point shooter. They could go back and forth.
Now, Bon V hasn't
had
a lot of attempts, but he's looked good when he has had the attempt.
No. He's typically more a catch-shoot shooter, and Citadel's not allowing them to get into that rhythm for the most part. Haddad makes a tough finish for two.
Yeah.
What I did not realize is looking at the score now, even though it seems like this has been back and forth most of the quarter, the Phoenix now lead by 25, 97-72.
Yeah, it was up to 27 a minute or two ago. I didn't bother saying it because the scoreboard did, but.
Number 19, Finn McLean is subbing back in for the Griffins, while number 6, Liam McPherson subs back in for North Nova. Number 9, Trayson Barton also subs in for the Phoenix.
Yeah, Citadel giving everybody, they'll probably start getting everybody an opportunity to get on the court now. And again, even some of the kids who haven't played a lot yet in this game, I have seen them play games where they have played a lot of minutes. Citadel, again, their depth is young, but it's talented.
And definitely a younger group out right now, with just like they had started the quarter with Peter Napier and a bunch of young guys. It's the same thing here. It is Gabriel Adib and a bunch of grade 10s and 11s.
Yeah, looked good on that 3.
McKay makes it over.
Oh, nicely done.
What a pass there by Abokar. It was a great anticipation, putting the Phoenix up to 101 points already.
Well, I mentioned Abokar's, he's definitely a developing young point guard, real good court vision, a lot of composure for a kid his age, good skill set, which is still developing and will improve. But that little find there, cross-grain look, ninja cut I call it, because you kind of sneak behind the Palace guard by Hadib, and a perfect drop-off with touch and location, boom. So we're at 26, and again, it's been kind of out of reach for North Nova for a while in this quarter. But, they're continuing to compete and do the best they can. But, again, they kind of lost that offensive assuredness they started the game with. Credit Citadel's defense with some of that. But, meanwhile, Citadel's offense has just been unrelenting.
I thought this would be a good game if North Nova could keep up. And North Nova could keep up for a while, as we saw early in the game. They can keep up point for point for a good while. But just Citadel could keep it up all day and hit even another gear past great.
Well, and this sets up a 2-3 semi with them in Millwood, and actually in their games this season, there's a nice take again by McFarland. Citadel and Millwood is a very good matchup. Very entertaining, very competitive, probably very high scoring.
I will be curious to see that tomorrow. Along with, I'll be curious to see, even though North Nova will end up in the losers bracket, I will be curious as they will take on the Ravens for what will be their 3rd matchup this year.
That'll be interesting to see. From what I've seen today, though, of North Nova, and again, I hadn't seen them until tonight, I've been impressed. I mean, they're a good basketball team. Citadel is got a little more talent, a little more depth, but North Nova definitely put on the first half. They were very competitive. Citadel did some stuff defensively to change their attack, and that I think had a real impact as the game went on.
I definitely agree with you there. They started off the game pretty close, but once Citadel made some adjustments that North Nova couldn't deal with, it kind of just kept spreading out the lead more and more as it went on to the point where it is now.
And again, I think North Nova has struggled to defend, as evidenced by that play, to defend Citadel.
Yeah, no.
Because really, North Nova is going to finish this game somewhere in the 80s.
They are.
And that's not bad. But when the other team is above 100, it becomes bad.
As I was saying with Neil McFarland, he can cause an ankle breaker or two. No bucket there, but just a look at it.
Again, it's they're an entertaining team to watch.
No. But I agree with you there that if they could just slow down the Phoenix a little bit, there would have been a much better chance. My coach always told me if you hold a team to only 60 or 70 points, you will always have a chance at winning a game.
Yeah, although increasingly, I think the way the game is played now with the quicker shot clocks, etc., the scores are just higher. The percentages aren't necessarily higher. It's just the number of possessions are so much more, right? and you have to put it up there. And regardless of the percentage on first shots, a lot of rebounding becomes significant. Defensive rebounds, box outs, that kind of thing, kind of a lost art. So there's just more scoring.
And we'll be curious to see how these teams do with the semi-rematch. This North Nova team will have a much harder chance after they lose. But as we've seen, they can keep up offensively with a decent team, at least for a while. So we'll be curious to see how they will do the rest of the weekend and see if they can go from a 6 seed kind of on a little run to maybe a bronze medal game.
Yeah, well, again, they've got some talent. Offensively, they're pretty interesting. Now, I was about to say they have struggled to finish in the interior against Citadel, as Citadel has notched up the defensive intensity.
They have, and they did start off the game very strong finishing. They were finishing really well, but since kind of the second half, I don't know what happened, but their finishing has definitely gone down significantly, and that's something they cannot let happen again, especially where it's a big game. It'll be a big game tomorrow, and for the future, you need to finish inside.
And partly it's just one-on-one matchups. That's a lot of their finishing problems are simply that they're being matched by a kid who's vertical might be a little better, a little quicker into the air. You know, how many shot blocks have we had on, opportunities that look pretty good, and then a half second later they're swatted. Anders got called for the foul on that one, but he actually didn't have to foul. And if he just kept it straight up, it would have been a clean block. So part of the finishing thing is, are you used to going up in the air and being greeted there by someone who got there a little quicker and stronger than you did?
And that will be something that will honestly be tested tomorrow. As with the Ruby Ravens, as we saw earlier today, they are they are not obviously as fast as a Citadel team, but a very fast team, but they are extremely tall and have a lot of length to use.
Yeah. Now what they don't have over 40 minutes is the depth to be able, because part of what happened here too, I think, to North Nova, they wore down a little bit because the depth of athleticism and quickness, it wears you down. So the sharpness and the quickness and the assuredness early is not there in the same degree as the game goes on.
And that is a big factor if you can have the athleticism to follow. Because as we saw with the Ravens, they weren't necessarily getting a ton of scoring off their bench, but they had solid defenders and bodies that they could start throwing at Millwood to just try different things.
Who was that one on? Did you notice?
I believe it was on number 1, but I'm not 100% sure.
If so, that'd be his second.
A fully young lineup out here. It appears to be mostly 10s and maybe an 11 or 2.
For Citadel, are you saying? Yeah, they're remember I said their depth is young, and most of it is grade 10, 11.
And looking at North Nova, they're semi the same. Number 9, Braden Jarrow is a grade 10, I believe. Number 13, Braden Fitt, I believe. I'm not sure what grade he's in, to be honest. I believe 11. And then
called.
Liam McPherson.
I thought he nailed his pivot foot pretty well, but
he did. And Liam McPherson's in grade 10. So it wouldn't shock me if you see some of the other young guys starting to get in here too, as it looks like Noah Bowden, who's also in grade 11, is getting ready to sub into the game for the Griffins.
And number 6, Josiah Brown in the game now. And again, he's another of the younger guys. He's a grade 10.
Yeah, so another great young player for them. He ended up picking up the foul there. And that will send Monvi to the line for 2, since the Griffins are now in bonus. Even with the outcome of this game, this does set up 2 exciting matches for tomorrow. A rematch of the semis in Halifax between Citadel and the Millwood Knights once again, and a battle that's been going on. North Nova has captured both games against Riverview, but they have been a pretty close game. I believe one being an 8 and one being a 14. So definitely a winnable game by both teams.
Okay, who was that one on? I couldn't see through the traffic.
That was on number 13, I believe, Braden Fit.
Okay, for a minute there, you were wondering were they going to call a charge or were they going to call a block?
I think they were debating it. Number 10, Will Butland subbed in for the Griffins. Another one of their multi-sport athletes, as he is a cross-country, but also a star baseball player, I believe.
Oh, yeah, really?
For the Griffins. And a fun fact that I should know about Will is he has his own book review YouTube channel that is fairly successful.
Now, what kind of books does he review?
A couple local ones and some other things. It's called Wild Willie's Book Reviews. I just learned about. I've competed against him for a few years. I just found out about it this weekend. It's pretty good. I would highly recommend definitely checking that out.
So he plays baseball and he does book reviews. That's not bad. Not bad.
Nope, not bad at all.
Yeah. And again, and that's Finn McLean. Remember, he started, and I mentioned that the three-pointer was definitely part of his repertoire.
And that gives him a 30-point, 110 points for the Phoenix.
And I mentioned, you know, North Nova is going to finish in the 80s. Indeed, they have. But 110 is not a bad outing.
No, for sure not. Another three taken, and that one is off the mark. I'm going to guess that, they will not. And Braden lays it in. And I would guess that will end the game. The Phoenix beat the Griffins 110-82.
Yep, Citadel will get it over and then dribble it out.
And now it'll be a rematch of the Capital Region semifinals, Phoenix versus Knights, and a rematch between the Ravens and the Griffins for the third time this season.
And those are going to be fun to watch.
They will be.
And as you say, we don't know who the matchups yet are with North Nova, but if it is with Riverview, that could be fun to watch too.
It will be, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Enjoyed working with you. So we get to do it again tomorrow, I guess?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Okay. I'll see you for the 5 o'clock semi, I think.
5 o'clock game.